Hi everyone, and welcome to video 2 with the side panels, hoods, and valance, dialing those in. This one's going to be kind of a normal format, and we're going to kind of breeze through. So if you haven't watched the first video, working on the passenger side, side panels, definitely do that if you want a more in-depth look at what it took to do that. The second one we're going to breeze through, but then we're going to have a lot of commentary about what to do afterwards and what's going on and things like that. So enjoy, and see you in the next video. And there needs to be a decent gap for this thing to actually get there.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Not as fucked up as you thought it was going to be, is it?
no, I thought we were going to have to trim the shit out of this. However, it's a little wacky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, that'll, you might need a space for that up or something. But this might so I got a rag under here too that's kind of being weird. Just get along here though.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Oh, there's a, yeah, just. Not terrible though. I'll probably bring this up just a little bit somehow. It's tight back here.
Let's see. It's supposed to. I had it to where it tilted a little bit this way, and it fixed that gap.
Right.
Kind of got this out.
Right.
But the belt lines. That's not too horrible. It's weird that this one is a little tall or perfect. I don't know which way it would be.
See, what I would do here now, we're here, this has to be the same. That hood has to be here.
Yeah. And remember this.
Yeah, you got them spacers underneath it there that you can,
Yeah, but if
right,
I drop the spacers,
then the gap gets done,
and this doesn't match either.
Yeah, that's kind of fine, right? Yeah.
That was weird. Oh, that's a huge gap.
Yeah, see here, the side cover's a little high. See, it's not touching here.
Uh-huh. So now I'm worried that if I tie these things in without the hood on, then I'm going to fuck myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it all has to be adjusted together.
Yeah, see this here, so you might need to grind that down up here a little bit, because it's attaching to the, well, the side covers. See, and I think what I would do is now, that's just take one long piece, isn't it? This side cover thing.
Just one piece.
So what you're gonna need to do is, you know, like try to pinch these down tight.
Okay.
You wanna open this gap up a little bit, you're gonna need to lower this a little bit. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to pull it down so that this side cover can move down at the front. Because you're not gonna be able to, you know, that style line has to remain, that's a constant that you can't.
Right.
All right, so the only way to affect this gap, you're gonna have to drop the front down.
So
you can't pick the hood up any.
Is this decent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Huh.
And you know, one thing you can do here is see this, the edge of this hood needs to get tuned up too. You know, there's like a flashing or whatever on it here. You know what I mean, where it's oversized. If you raise this hood up, that's fine. You could actually grind a little bit away here. See how it's high here? I'd cut a little bit away and let it even get into a little bit of the bottom of that radius.
Yeah.
But you need to block it. If you slide down the hood here,
Yeah.
this isn't straight here.
Oh.
You know, so get you a long block on it. And here, you know, you might need to raise this a little bit.
So does that mean
Got a little bit of a gap here to help close that some. Maybe you can pull this down, and same with the back, you might be able to lower that a little bit.
pinched?
And see, that,
I mean, this could come.
that could come down a tiny bit.
So, I mean, I'm using rib nuts and stuff, so that means I have to fiberglass the hole and re-drill?
Maybe, yeah.
And see, the problem is the rib nuts, the flange on the rib nuts is giving it something in the way too.
Yeah, it's raising it up a little bit, yeah.
So, and getting to these rib nuts is a
real hard, yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, this is the one that's like the most whacked of things. This, yeah, that other side, you know. I don't know. See, it's all the way up there because the hood's all the way against the grill now.
Well, yeah, this thing pinches.
Yeah.
So this could come back a good quarter-inch, easy.
Yeah, that may change things because the hood.
And that's what made this so difficult to begin with. Was I was cutting, and then I kept pinching and pinching,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize, and then it's just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could even go back more on that side. This side's pretty decent.
Yeah. You know, and what you may have to do, you know, this is down low where it's going to be hard to see. You're going to need to close this gap some by probably just raising this up a little bit, you know. It's one of those, just sit here. You know, nothing's off the table, you know. With
right, but
making
like
bodywork,
once this moves that much,
it's going to close the gap here a little bit, but you know, you can fine tune
but
it.
this will be too up and down, or you think it will?
I kind of split this. Well, you know, because we're still tight here. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I want to stop while we're like at this stage, you know.
Right.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be a big deal to have to, even if you got to put a filler strip in here of some type, you know, or add something to it. You could even, across that gap, you could put a hunk of fucking quarter-inch thick of rubber or something to make like a spacer in that gap, you know. You know, and that would close that and change this angle a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you just don't take anything off the board when you're doing body work, especially on something custom. You just,
Right.
you know, there's some places and ways that you just can't go because, like, your style line has to match, you know. So
Right.
you're not going to be able to put that hood a whole lot.
Well, take a look at this, the very bottom of the Valence. You can see that it's a little, there's a little gap between the body and that, like,
Yeah.
or I mean, like
Yeah.
it goes up a hair, like an 1/8 inch or something.
Yeah. Yeah, these shapes don't fit right.
Yeah.
But see, if you could drop this balance down, that's gonna drop that down and open this up. And you got a 1/4 of an inch that you could do that. Yeah, see them pulling up on that rib nut. I mean, that's probably one of them quite not right. I don't know that I'd use a rivet nut in there.
What would you do?
Just use a nut and a washer, you know, and it leaves the hole slotted out so you have adjustments there.
Oh, okay.
See, this was loose, this one's not tight.
Yeah, it's,
But, you know, see, you're gonna have to do something around to get this to drop. I
okay.
would drop this guy here, you got something right here, this rivet nut hole or whatever,
Yeah,
and that's holding it up.
okay.
Once you drop that down and close this up, and if that means you gotta grind some of this gel coat away or some of this lift here a little bit to do it, then do that, you know?
Okay.
But, you know, you look at a regular car, most of them holes are slotted holes, you know, they use washers and stuff like that.
So I need to drop this a good, what,
3/16,
3/16,
1/4 inch, something like that. You know, and that gap might not be able to get perfectly straight, but you get close with that gravity, make you go, holy, you know?
right.
And another thing, you got thickness of fiberglass and gel coat here, you can cut a little bit out of here, you know? Because when you sight down, the thing turns up from here to here. See, this gap is kind of decent here, and then it gets wide there, so, you know, and again, the bottom of the hood gives you a whole bunch of room for trimming. And if you sight down it, it needs blocks and stuff, so it's all just fine tuning that you're gonna have to do. Look around and get that gap tightened up a little bit, whatever it takes, you know, to make that happen.
So just a 1/4 20 with some metal washers and a nylon nut?
Yeah, that's what I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they make those, they call them fender washers, you
Yeah,
know, which is a big diameter ones, that's what you use, you know.
okay,
Use the biggest diameter washer you can use.
okay,
If you gotta cut this one side off of it, you know, to clear the back of those lines, then do that, you know.
okay.
But just get you some fender washers, slot the holes.
And then the only way for me really to get those rib nuts out is just to cut it a hair
You
bigger.
just cut it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just drill it.
Okay,
Yeah, but I wouldn't use them for stuff like that, just because you need adjustment, you know.
yeah, okay. So even when you put the side panel into the Valence, you're saying use the same?
I use rivet nuts on mine.
Okay,
I use rivet nuts for down there, you know, for
Okay.
tension the lower, just because you can't really get at them, you know.
right,
That looks good though, I mean, I think you're really, I mean, even though that's all whacked out and kinda got you freaking out, that's just, you gotta give a little bit here, a little bit there. You've got the
So-
room, you know, and if you don't have the room, you make it with a grinder, you know.
okay. Probably Monday or Tuesday I'll be getting those slots in, that, I don't know what the hell they call
Go
them.
back there, yeah.
And I believe they cut into this thing, but I just have a hard time, like this was have to be such a precision cut for this thing to fit in there and this mold to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
even if you cut the thing wrong, it's not gonna bend.
Right,
So,
yeah.
I don't really,
Well, let's see what it looks like, you don't know. That first 33 I did, the body pieces were so nice. There wasn't any blisters, there wasn't shit. Everything went together a lot better. The second one was like this, and stuff everywhere.
this one's not bad.
Yeah, see, your gaps aren't bad either, you know? I mean, this is so close that you can just, all you gotta do here on the bottom is just fine tune the bottom line of that hood.
Okay,
I'd leave that alone, I wouldn't do anything other than just the bottom side of the hood.
okay,
Cause it's underneath in the shadow, you know, nobody's gonna be looking at it here, so just
right,
stand at the bottom of this or whatever it takes to make that gap look decent. But
okay,
nobody's gonna be looking at it from this way, they walk up there, well, fuck, it's
right,
down low. And you know, the thing is, you're not gonna be able to get this stuff like the gaps on that nice little car you have out there, cause it's fiberglass and custom made shit here and there. You know, it's easy to get so that you're just blinded,
yeah,
you know, with something like this, but at the end of the day, some of this you ain't gonna be able to get, you know. getting close.
What's interesting is if I bring this down a little bit, it almost seems like it would want to go like straight down.
Correct.
In other words, it's almost cocked a little bit this way.
Yeah.
It needs to go that way, but that would make that go down even further instead of coming up. You know what I mean, twisting wise?
Well, I'm just gonna do this. It's,
But isn't that going to make that kind of do this then? Which it kind of already is. From here to here, this looks bigger than that.
yeah, that gap will open up a little bit more. But you could build a little bit there.
I mean, maybe.
This might tuck back up.
So, you know, this is where I kind of get into that situation of
Where you have.
I've never done this.
Yeah.
I don't know my options, and yet I need to make decisions, and then it's kind of tough on my own to do that. If this was all lining up perfectly, it'd be like, okay, I can bolt into the side, I can do this, I can do that. You
Right.
know? So that's where I start getting a little skittish.
Yeah.
And then 2 months go by, and I'm like, fuck. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I know that's where you get freaked out.
All right, so we've been making a little cutting booth here. You can see all the fiberglass everywhere, just cutting chunks off. So it's been kind of a pretty good setup. Keep all the dust out there, and then get everything on the car. I got a little tweaking here. This is a little low. I got to tweak this up because there's a little gap right there. But this side's actually looking pretty decent. And it's the first time seeing this on the car fully, you know, for real in a sense. The hood's not strapped in yet, but it's starting to look like a real car. So I'm very thankful for my friend Greg to come and help out. There's a few things I could do now to help tweak some of this stuff in. The other thing that I had going on is I was using riv nuts to kind of connect some of these panels in. And Greg was like, nah, you're going to want to do like, you know, fender washers and have some space to have adjustments and nylon, you know, 1/4 or something like that, to lock things in. And then that way you have some room to make, you know, adjustments and stuff. So that's something that we're definitely going to do. And so I'm going to remove some of that stuff and tweak some of this stuff out in the very near future.